Hello, Instagram. This is me. I'm Bunny Luna. Hello, if you don't know me yet. I will most likely not be joined today as planned because Lior is under the weather. I hope they feel better soon, or at least get some kind of relief. But I'm here to talk about our event that's coming up this Saturday, the 19th at 1 p.m. I'm very excited. You're officially invited. Please come. We'll be talking about body language. Hello, welcome. We'll be talking about body language at this event. And I am here to give you a little tiny taste of what we're going to be talking about. So I'm really excited. Most of you are probably already familiar with what I would assume most people think about body language, or what most people know about body language, which is the way that you can communicate with other people without using your words. It's, for me personally, much easier to do in person than online, because obviously, usually online, we just have words and images, and there's not as much video. Video chats are really awesome, which is helpful, but I'm very much a really like to be in person kind of person. So for me, body language speaks a lot and helps me convey my feelings, emotions, ideas better in person. Hello, I see more people joining. Welcome. So I wanted to talk about how, for me personally, I see body language in a couple of different ways. So the first way is the way that most people, I assume, would probably see body language, where the way that you hold yourself kind of speaks to other people. Like right now I'm kind of, standoffish, back away. Or if I'm like, yeah, come on, like the movements that we make can speak to things, and also the way that we express through our face, like furrowed brows might be angry or sad, or really excited. So it just depends on how you want to express yourself and what ways are most comfortable to you, and the ways that you've been socialized to understand and relay information between people. And that's I would say the general way that most people would think about body language. And I'm also here to give you a real quick tidbit of what I have been personally exploring a lot recently, which is, so not only is there body language where we use our body to communicate with other people, but there's also the body language of our body is speaking to us through the way that we feel, usually the way we feel, but some examples of our body speaking to us are maybe you're hungry, you have pain in your stomach because you need food. Maybe you're thirsty, your mouth feels dry because you need to drink some water. Maybe you have pain in your shoulder because there's tightness and tension. There's our intuition speaks to us through our body, and I've just now started to begin to understand some of the things that my body is telling me, because the way that I grew up, I was not really ever taught how to listen to my body. And so this is something that I now, at 30 years old, am just now starting to explore and get to understand a little bit better. Roarie asked a question. In my finer images, what type of body language do I use? I would say, to be honest, I would say probably both. As someone who has posed and been in front of and behind the camera for 10 plus years, I know what shapes my body looks good in for pictures, and I have that in the back of my mind if I'm going to be posing. But also, I would say I would use like both. So like the body language of me using my body to express emotion, and also, especially more recently, like last summer and to now, I've also been using more of the body language of my body speaking to me and listening and understanding that, because like last summer I took a whole bunch of self-portraits. I've basically not created almost at all this whole year, and that's okay. Like I kind of stress about it a little bit sometimes, but like last summer is my best description of my like most recent creativity, because that kind of is the most recent creativity that I've done personally. With the exception of a couple of shoots this year, it just hasn't been much at all. But last year I was using my body to convey emotion, but also actually listening to my body and what my body wanted to do. And I just kind of went along with the feelings that I had in order to help me explore myself and the space that I was in. Roarie said, I love that you mentioned awareness in the body shapes that are aesthetically pleasing for your body. Thanks! How did you hone into what those were? I'm not exactly clear on what you mean by those, so I'm gonna assume like the feelings in your body or my body that wanted to come out for my self-portraits is what I'm assuming you're asking. I honed in on those feelings by getting out of my head, to be honest. Like, the way that I took self-portraits last summer was newer to me, because usually I would take self-portraits on film. But last summer I took digital self-portraits because I was in a time crunch, because I was at national parks and I wanted to be naked and take pictures but not get caught. So I had to do it quickly. So I would set up the camera on an interval timer, press the button, and it would take a picture every 3 seconds. No matter what I was doing, I didn't have to be near the camera. So I would turn on the interval timer, go run in front of the camera, and just like move. And that allowed me to explore like the space and my body at the same time, while not having to think about like, where's the camera? What am I doing? Having to go back and forth between the camera to get pictures to take. Like I was just fluid movements of, okay, I'm in this space. What does my body feel like it wants to do? And then just do that. And it just, I was not really thinking at all, to be honest. I don't think. I was more like in my body and in my feelings than in my mind and my thoughts. And I think that helped me a lot to really connect with how I felt, which then came out in the photos. Questions. Roarie says, sounds like you're processing your emotions through your body by listening to your intuition. Yes, exactly. Let's see. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce the name of your account, so I'm going to say it and probably say it wrong, so I apologize, but I want to try to say it. Joa Pixito Photography. I apologize if I butchered that, but I at least attempted. How do you communicate with your body to understand it? That is kind of a hard question to answer, to be honest, because it's like it's a feeling, it's an like energy, it's a like a quietness, and just like a paying attention and listening instead of like trying to tell it to do something. I've been doing a lot of energy medicine and learning a lot more about energy medicine recently, and that has really helped me connect better to my body. For over a week or 2 weeks, I haven't really counted yet, but for at least a week or two, every day I've been doing some energy medicine practices within my body that have, I think, really connected me to myself and my feelings and my energy. And I will actually be sharing some of those practices during the group somatic practice at the event on Saturday. So if you want to do some energy medicine with me, please join. I would love it if you would come and do that with us, because I think I think everyone would benefit from energy medicine. But yeah, to answer the question, how do I communicate with my body to understand it? I don't think it's necessarily about an understanding, because that's very like thought and cerebral and like brain thinking. And it's not always about understanding. It's more about like allowing the feelings to happen and just being aware of them without judging them. And that's kind of super hard to do, to be honest. But yeah, I would say it's not necessarily about understanding, but it's about allowing the feelings to happen and to understand that they're there for a purpose, and they're there because your body wants to take care of you. Thanks for trying to pronounce your name. I appreciate it. You're from Portugal. Where can you follow my work? I am on bunny_luna_ on Instagram. My website is bunnyluna.com. So BUNNYLUNA.com. But you can also find me on Instagram. I think I've tagged myself in the pictures that are on this account, I believe. If not, I should. You should be able to find me that way, though. Roarie said, how did you find poses that were a good fit for your body? What was that process like? Noticing and observing. Thanks for the tip. Okay. So to make sure I'm understanding your question correct, Roarie, are you meaning like the poses in my body that I know are like photogenic? Or the poses that were a good fit for my body, like energetically, emotionally? Because those, I would say, are two completely different things. And I'm not sure which process you're asking about. True Mind Simba 17 says, you do have some approaches on it on your YouTube. Has been interesting. Yes, I do. For some reason, I don't mention my YouTube a lot. And I have a whole bunch of work and like content and stuff on there. So I probably, I would like to probably promote that a little more. Thank you for the plug on my YouTube. I appreciate that. But yeah, I do have a lot of stuff that I've shared on my YouTube, and I will continue to share things. I'm actually in the process of brainstorming my next video for YouTube, and it's going to be about energy medicine. Yay. So Roarie, the first one. So the first one as in finding poses that work for my body that are photogenic. The process of figuring that out would be just taking a bunch of self-portraits and not really thinking about what I'm doing and looking at them afterwards and noticing what I was doing in the photo that to me looked good in the photo. Or, yeah, to me looked good in the final product. For me, really, a lot of it is just experimentation and not having a whole lot of expectations and like assumptions of the way that it should look, and being more in the process of, hey, I'm creating something and this is something that I'm enjoying, so I'm going to do it just because I like it and not because I have to look a certain way. And with digital, like if I'm taking just like stuff with my cell phone or my digital camera, it's super easy to just take like 1,000 photos. I'd never take 1,000 photos, but you could take a whole bunch of photos and then go through them all and notice like, okay, so this is what I was doing when the poses for me, I think looked good. So I will remember that and do that again at a later point. Or like, notice that like, oh, I really like the way it looks when I have triangles. Like if I have my hand, you know, like you can make triangles with your legs, with your body, with your hands, you know, so you just like, experiment and practice and then review what you've done in order to help understand like, okay, so this particular type of pose works, but this other particular type of pose doesn't really look that great. So maybe I'll refrain from doing too much of that in the future if, you know, what I'm doing is for the aesthetic of the picture instead of just the feeling. So, yay. Let's see. I'm probably going to continue to butcher your name, but I'm going to say it as best as I can. Drow Pixie Toe Photography is asking, what is the process of your evolution, the beginning until today, and your opinion about them looking back, about the photos? Well, I first started taking, like, nude self-portraits in probably 2008. I think it was 2008. I started like posing for photographers in 2010. So it's been a long time. When I look back and see photos of me from like 10 plus years ago, I'm like, wow, I had no idea what I was doing. And also at the same time, I was like, wow, I did a great job. It just really depends on like the shoot and what I was doing. But sometimes I look back and I'm like, wow, if I had only known all the things that I know now, I could have been so much better when I was younger. But also the process of not knowing and then growing into a place of knowing is really beautiful and magical, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like, photography and modeling would be so boring if I already knew everything and how to do it. So I think that it's important to experiment and play, even if you've been doing this forever, because there's always something you can discover, and a newer like depth to yourself that you can become closer to, my opinion. Roary's asking if I have any videos in YouTube that speak on this process. I think I talked a little bit about taking self-portraits in the like recap of my cross-country road trip that I posted to my YouTube last year, soon after I got home from my trip. But I don't think I have anything very specific about like posing and like energy medicine within the posing kind of stuff. So maybe that is something I will make a video about in the future. I have so many videos I want to make, y'all. True Mind Simba 17 says, on that, self-portraits are an excellent exercise, makes us more conscious on what works better with our body and expression. Exactly. For sure. I totally agree. Even if you never share any of the photos that you take, like self-portrait wise, when you're just experimenting, even if you never share it with anyone ever and you just keep it to yourself, it's still a really great exercise to get to know yourself better. So Rory says, I think it's pronounced Wayo with the hard H, like Cool Whip. Oh, you're probably right. They can let us know if that's correct or not. But I don't want to go too in depth about body language in this live because we have our whole event on Saturday that's going to talk all about it, and I'm going to go in even more depth there. So I'm here to officially invite you to join us this Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for our free community conversation about body language. Hopefully Lior will be feeling better, but if not, Roarie and I will be there and talk about all of our body language things. And we have a whole section at like on the second half of the event where we're gonna have a discussion around like between the community about body language and go over like your responses on what body language means to you. We even also have a place where you can submit an image to be shared during the event, and we can talk about your body language image. So I'm extremely excited. I'm really excited to see what everybody comes up with and what you share with us. I'm excited about this conversation. I love talking about body language, and I think I'm really looking forward to hearing everyone else's perspective on body language, because I am not the end-all be-all of information about body language. We all have something valuable to say about it, and I'm really excited to learn from y'all too. So, thank you. Let's see, there's a couple messages in here. Roarie says, I love that you shared self-portraits as a way to discover yourself. And they said that they're looking forward to my somatic exercise. I am too. I'm so ready to do EM yoga with y'all. Yay. Request for repeating my Instagram. Oh, thank you, Roarie. Actually, there's an additional underscore after Luna, so it's bunny underscore Luna underscore. It's really annoying. It used to just be bunny Luna underscore, but that account got deleted in October of 2018, so I lost all my followers and had to start over. But yeah, you can find me personally at bunny underscore Luna underscore on Instagram or bunnyluna.com. I also have a YouTube channel. That's basically where I am on social media. But yeah, thank you so much for being here with me. I'm really excited about our event Saturday. It's free to sign up. You can come and join us. And even if you cannot make it to the actual event and you are curious about this information, sign up anyway, because we'll be sending out a PDF of all of the slides that we go over at the event to everybody who signs up, whether or not they come to the event. So if you can't come, but you're curious about the information, sign up through the Eventbrite anyway, and then you'll get the email with all of our aftercare stuff. Love you. Thank you for being here. I will talk to all of y'all on Friday when I go live with Roarie, and then Saturday at the event. Looking forward to seeing you there. Mwah!